Hi everyone! How is everyone? It's Monday morning, almost Monday afternoon actually. My goodness, I was so busy this morning. Grocery shopping, oh my gosh, you guys, can I just say I absolutely love doing pickup, like grocery pickup where you order online and you just like drive there and pick it up. It's the best thing ever. I hate going into stores. Oh, you love the shirt? Thanks. I actually bought some new clothes. I just ordered them through this awesome new shop I found called Goodnight Macaroon. I cannot wait for those to come. I have been trying hard to find new things to wear to keep you guys interested. All right, you guys. So last night was the long-awaited interview between Joe Giudice and Teresa Giudice. And the two of them sat down with Andy Cohen to talk about what is going on in their relationship, what's going on with their marriage. He is now out of ICE detention. He is in he's in Italy. And since his release, they have not been together. She did not see him when he was released. In fact, in this interview, there was so many things that were revealed that I was actually kind of, I don't know if I should be shocked, but maybe surprised. Maybe not. I don't know. So let's start from the beginning. So basically what he says is that he was, so let's start from the beginning. Why was he in prison? In March 2014, they entered a guilty plea to 41 counts of fraud that they actually agreed to with the federal prosecutors. They were accused of engaging in bank, mail, wire, and bankruptcy fraud, and they allegedly obtained more than $5 million in fraudulent loans over the course of 10 years. And they also failed to file timely tax returns for the years of 2004 through 2008, where they allegedly made an income of more than $1 million. She was sentenced to 15 months in federal prison. He was sentenced to 41 months in federal prison. He also faced possible deportation because he never became a United States citizen. When he was actually born in Italy, came to the United States when he was about a year old, and for whatever reason, he never obtained a passport or went and became a naturalized citizen. They were allowed to serve separately, so she did her 15 months, he did his 41 months, and they have basically been apart since 2014. So they've been living relatively separate lives. So he said that he was taken by ICE custody after spending 7 months in an ICE detention center, which he described as horrific, really small, cramped cells, which he had with like 8 other people. He said that he never spent any time in the SHU while he was in federal prison. It was a little bit different when he was in ICE custody because of some stuff he got in trouble with related to opening a window. He said that he was really losing it when he was in detention. It caused a lot of issues with his girls, with Teresa. And he basically was falling down on the sword and saying that absolutely nothing, that he was responsible for all of it. Teresa wasn't responsible for any of it. She still signed documents. He literally said she only signed one document. And I can't believe that. I don't believe she only ever signed one document. That just literally makes no sense to me. So, yes, YouTube is not giving notifications. I can see this right now with the amount of people in chat. Anyways, let's get started. I'm still getting over my cold, you guys. So, then Andy Cohen was like, well, would you guys know the president. Wouldn't you actually want to talk to the president and see if he'll pardon you? And I got super annoyed at this question, you guys. Just because you're famous and you know someone that's in the Oval Office, they said that they wouldn't, but the thought that you would even consider doing that, or the question would even be posed, is so annoying to me. And just no, they literally committed financial crimes. They literally stole millions of dollars. Why would you want a pardon? Don't do the crime if you don't want the time and you don't want the conviction. She didn't even know that she couldn't vote. Andy had to point that out to her. Joe is no longer allowed to be a citizen. It's crazy. All right. So he basically said that he doesn't know why he never got his passport. He just wasn't a criminal. You know, as long as he was doing everything that he needed to do and to take care of the things that he needed to take care of, he was doing everything right. And so he just didn't really think he needed to get his citizenship because it didn't matter. He wasn't worried about having to be deported. To which Andy pointed out, well, you actually were kind of breaking the law. And he was like, well, yeah, kind of. Like, while he still admits to what he's done, you guys, he still really is downplaying these crimes. And that's the part of this that bothers me. It's like they want to blame the people for turning them into prison. They want to, like, just don't do the crimes. Don't steal. Don't worry about people turning you in. Don't worry about being ratted on. Don't worry about, like, well, I wasn't being a criminal. You were being a criminal. You just hadn't been caught yet. Oh, I hate that mentality. Okay, sorry. I digress. Anyways. And Andy did remind him that he broke the law. So, here's the thing where it gets into their relationship. They're going to actually go to visit Joe in a couple weeks to Italy because there's going to be some break at school, so the girls will go with her. And she said that she has not seen him in 3 years and 7 months. So she didn't visit him for 3 years and 7 months. Isn't that crazy? Like, even if, like, who did the girls not see him then? Like, who was taking the girls to see him? Why wasn't anyone going to visit him? Like, did they hate him that much? I mean, he came off, like, completely pompous, totally like an a-hole in this interview. I was so agitated just watching him talk. He's still the same arrogant Joe that I absolutely hated. And to be honest, like, I've never been a Teresa fan, but after watching this interview, I actually felt like she's, like, showed a little bit of remorse, has learned a little bit through these years that she's been away from him, and maybe has, like, grown her own spine and learned a lot. And, you know, she was talking about how she did bodybuilding. She became a lot more independent. She's learned how to take care of herself. She's changed for the better. They had a very traditional relationship moving in when they were together. Well, they're basically still married, but you guys, we'll get there. Anyways, she was just sort of talking about how this whole experience was good for her in those respects. And, you know, she loved doing the bodybuilding thing. He asked Joe, like, how do you feel about that? And he said that, he said that, you know, she looked like that when I was with her. Looked good. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. It was just really weird. He said that he's apologized, like, repeatedly to his wife and children. He said the biggest thing that he regrets is that he missed Gia's graduation from high school. But he said that he still talks to the girls all the time. They video chat, they send videos, they send photos, they text, they Skype, all that crap. And he said that when she was locked up, it was like the hardest time of his life. He said that his father passed away and he was literally drinking 2 bottles of wine a night. There was a lot of discussion when he was not in the, when he was on the show that he was an alcoholic. I would say drinking 2 bottles of wine a night is definitely a sign of alcoholism or at least alcohol abuse. He had no problem getting, he had no problem knocking him back, being belligerent. I mean, that was just what he did on the show. And then when they talked to Teresa, she basically was like flat. She was flat out, like all in the line. Like she blames him for everything, blames him for the time away, blames him for taking time away from her mother because her mother passed away shortly after she got out of prison. She said that after her mother died, she became extremely angry, became more open and expressive with how she felt, and that what she realized more than anything is that no one should judge anyone that they don't know if they're going through something legal unless you've gone through it. But that, she's definitely learned to find her voice. Then they get into infidelity. And so Andy brings up that she was seen holding the hand of a young man in Miami, and Joe says that he saw the photo and he just said, whatever floats her boat. I mean, I'm in here and she's out there. I wasn't happy about it, but what can I do? it was just so, like, he was just so smug and just, like, if this is your first interview out of jail, he doesn't sound good. He sounds like a jerk, to be honest. And she's like, Joe isn't the jealous type. I don't think it would matter. She said she insists that this guy is her friend. There's nothing romantic going on. And then Andy's like, well, why were you holding her hand? Like, you're friends that hold hands? And she said, my feet were really tired. We were leaving from a charity benefit. He was helping me to the car. And he goes, oh, is this the guy that I met with you at the beach? And Joe's like, what? You were at the beach with him? And she's like, I wasn't trying to hide anything from you. I wouldn't be out in public if this was real. I'd be hiding behind closed doors. And then Andy turns it around and he's like, well, you were actually photographed with women also. And he's like, yeah, and that's why I made it okay for you, Teresa. Okay, so he's basically saying, like, I was photographed, so you can be photographed, so everything is fine. Like, what? Yet they both deny that they cheated. Like, Teresa's like, I don't think he's been faithful. And then Joe's like, I don't think she's been faithful. But then they're like, have you been faithful? And Joe's like, yep. And Teresa's like, have you been faithful? Yes. And in my mind, I wonder, like, do they have a different idea of what faithfulness is? Like, did they have an agreement while they were in the clinkers that they could do those kinds of things? Teresa even brought up the fact that he had been photographed with women from when the show just started. So his allegations of infidelity has been a long, like, pressed issue in the marriage. This wasn't just a new thing. She goes, you were photographed with women in the beginning and while I was locked up. It's crazy. I, honest to God, think they both cheated. I don't even know if they even would call it cheating, because to me, I think when they got locked up, this marriage was over. And to them, it isn't cheating because it's done. She's like, you know, I'm just not the same person anymore. We haven't seen each other in 3 years and 7 months. And so she's basically going to be going to see him in Italy. And she said that when she would see him behind bars, she felt nothing for him. She didn't want to kiss him. She didn't feel romantic towards him. She didn't feel for him. She said that she will always love him as a person, but she doesn't know that she's in love with him. He's the father of her children. He is her, husband, but it doesn't sound like she's in love at all. And she said she doesn't know how she will feel when she sees him. She's already told Gia that this relationship is pretty much done. Andy asked if she's discussed divorce with the kids, and she said she has. And Joe, when they asked Joe whether or not if she would get divorced, he was just like, I don't know. Like, she's gonna do what she's gonna do. She's gonna do what she wants. Like, he was so contrite and just rude the whole time. And she's crying about how she's sad that he was away, and then sad that he's been deported, but then happy that he's out. And she's actually showing emotions. She's actually being genuine. And again, I'm not a huge Teresa fan, but I absolutely believed her in this interview. He was so smug. And she basically said, I just don't see this working. He lives in Italy and I live here. I'm not going to move there. The girls don't want to move there. They've already been through so many changes. It's been way too much for them. I'm not going to do that to them. And it seems like in all of this, Teresa's whole resignation to him is she's blaming him for what he did, blaming him for going to jail, blaming him for putting her in jail in her mind, and then blaming him for being away from his kids for 4 years. And if you have that amount of resentment, I don't know that you can repair a marriage. And then now he can't even be in the country. So why would she move to another country to be with a guy that she doesn't even like? I mean, that would just spell disaster. And then Joe's like, well, it's been 3.5 years. And if I wanted to be with someone, I could have been with someone this week. That's how arrogant and, he was so annoying. And he was like, I'll always love her. I mean, she is my wife. This marriage is done, you guys. Don't be disillusioned. It's over. And then when they're talking about the divorce, she wants to keep the house, and because that's where the kids grew up. And then Joe gets like super snotty, and he's just like, well, if she wants to keep that house, she's gonna need to get a man that has a lot of money, because that house is super expensive and it causes a lot of upkeep, and she's really high maintenance, and she needs more money than what she makes on Bravo to fund her lavish lifestyle, was basically what he was saying. Because Andy pointed out that she makes a really nice salary from Bravo, and it wasn't enough in terms of Joe. And he said he was just giving her friendly advice. And then Teresa's like, well, then why don't you hook me up with someone? I mean, it was so awkward. And like, Joe is such a misogynistic jerk. Like, Teresa has been doing this by herself for 3.5 years or 4 years now. Why would she need to marry someone to suddenly keep up with what she has? He has contributed zero, absolutely zero, since he's been locked up, yet she still has all of the things that she has. Where's the money coming from? It's certainly not coming from Joe. So he is so old world and like traditional. Like, I don't blame her for wanting, if she is truly independent again, girl, cut your losses and run. This guy is a jerk. He was a jerk when you were married to him, but he's even a bigger jerk now. Then they start talking about Carolyn Manzo, and Carolyn Manzo, like how she predicted that she would go to jail. And Teresa's like, well, she lives a crooked life, so she would know. Like, did she rat on us? Was she the rat? Is she the reason why we're in? And then Joe's like, no, I know who's the rat. It's fine. And to me, I'm thinking, the rat? Like, you guys, this is the mentality of these people. The rat. Like, maybe do your due diligence, pay your damn taxes, don't steal money, don't do fraudulent deals. Then you won't have to worry about people ratting you out. I don't understand this criminal mindset that, like, it's fine unless people, like, rat on you. Because then they were like, well, do you regret being on the show? And Joe said he did, because the size of his house, the amount of money that they had, the opulent lifestyle that they had, it made him ripe for everyone in the world to see what they were doing. And he said he had a very good life, like, leading up to the show, that he didn't need the show to have that, and that being on the show put them in a position where they were more visible for people to rat on them, essentially. Again, like, you were stealing money. You were literally stealing money from banks, from the federal government, by not paying your taxes, and you had a good life. Like, how? I don't understand this mindset. And if you are as floored with me, like, please explain to me. I mean, if you don't want to be ratted on, don't go on TV. And how about don't commit crimes? I hate this. Like, I hate this kind of mindset. And I think everyone that saw from the very beginning what was going on with them knew that they were, like, stealing, or because they could never explain what Joe was doing for work. And then Joe basically says, in the very beginning, they're talking about him, like, what are they going to do for their income? And he's already talking about how he had gotten involved in a picking scheme, or sports picking, gambling. Like, so does Joe even know how to live like a on the street and narrow lifestyle? I don't think so. I don't think Joe even understands that he is a criminal through and through. He only understands how to, like, scheme, scam, and get money. And it is probably better that he not be in the United States. If they can deport him and he would continue to this criminal mindset, get him out of here. Like, get him out. Go back to Italy. I have zero sympathy for him at all with that kind of mindset. Like, I don't understand theft. I don't understand fraud. I hate this. And sports picking is gambling. So, and then the other interesting thing I forgot to mention is he literally just earned his high school diploma. Why didn't he have his high school diploma, and why didn't he have his U.S. citizenship? And why was Teresa okay being with the man that was in this type of situation? Like, she had children with him, she got married to him, and he didn't have anything. Like, part of it is, like, I'm sure she wanted all of these really things. She wanted this lavish lifestyle, so he probably felt motivated that he needed to fund her lavish lifestyle. So maybe it was, like, coupled by the fact, like, he couldn't get the jobs that he wanted. The housing market was, like, completely tanking, and he decided and develops a scheme to, like, steal a ton of money. And she doesn't seem to care. I mean, it was fine as long as she had the money, and now it's his fault that he did this. And I don't, like, while Teresa was more sympathetic to me in this, I'm still not loving this whole, like, I didn't see anything, I didn't do anything. Girl, you had no problem, like, paying for tens of thousands of dollars in cash on TV. You had no problem building a massive house with freaking like marble floors and like gold-plated crap. And that house was so opulent and so tacky. And you guys had no problem flaunting your wealth that was stolen from other people. And so I'm glad she's grown up, and I would hope that during this time she's realized that that lifestyle is criminal. But I don't know that Joe learned anything. And if that's the case, then he needs to leave. Like, he needs to be done. And I always thought they were part of the mafia. I don't know if they were, but this sort of behavior is definitely not like, it's definitely organized crime in a way. And then talking about rats, I don't know. I've always wondered if any of these families are part of it. But of course, we would never know that. So either way, I'm less like, can we just go back to the beginning and just say the only losers in this case are the kids? They had two parents that had the audacity to go on national TV when they were stealing money, millions of dollars from banks and the federal government, and we're supposed to feel sorry for them because now their family is separated. I feel sorry for the kids because their parents made crappy decisions. I feel sorry for the kids that their parents still cannot actually admit what they did was wrong. I still don't think that Joe even grasps the magnitude of what he did. He still thinks that his 4 years behind bars was too much. Dude, there are people that are not white, by the way, that have colored skin that's brown or tan, that have like this much illegal drugs in their hands, and they end up in jail for 10 years. He steals, what, $5 million and he only gets 4 years? Tell me how fair that is. It's not. It's completely ridiculous. He should have gotten way more time than what he got. Both of them. And they still have that terrible tacky house. So, all right, you guys, that's where I'm at with this. Just so you know, tomorrow, Shen, Bar's mother from Teen Mom Young and Pregnant, will be joining me at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. She's going to be talking about all things that have happened with Ashley, share her side of the story. You guys have been asking, demanding, wanting me to get Shen on. Shen was in chat last night. And let's get her side of the story. She's been super nice to me and kind, and that was actually her last night, 100%. That was Shen here, and I text messaged with her afterwards. She was ready. She said she felt like this channel was a good place, that I was real, that I don't sugarcoat things, and that she would feel comfortable talking here on this channel and tell you guys. And she said she would be an open book and try to sort of give you some insight into what was going down with Ashley over the weekend. And we'll be back later with more. I've got some other stuff I need to... Kanye West and Jeremy and Ginger were at the Sunday service. There's so much we need to cover that's not related to Teen Mom. So we'll get back in action today with more. Thank you guys so much, as always, for sticking with me. Give this video a thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram, please, at Without a Crystal Ball, and on Facebook at facebook.com/withoutacrystalball. And if you do Twitter, at WOA Crystal Ball. All right, you guys. Bye.